Welcome, everybody. We are in the bowels of the library in the Blair Room. This is CIPC, and we will be discussing a lot of requests for the report that we will be sending to the town administrator, the select board, and the finance committee. Before we go on, do we have any comments? Anybody?
No.
Okay. Minutes? Chris, thank you for sending them out. I read them. They were great.
Okay. Right.
Right to the
Very
point.
thorough.
Yeah, I didn't find any problems with it.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing
No.
none, I'll take a roll call vote.
Aye.
Name.
Nate Britton.
Britton, aye.
Chris, aye.
Mike, aye.
Harry, aye. Okay. Motion approved. Okay, our purpose for meeting tonight is to go over the items that we are going to recommend to the town and discuss ways that these items can be funded. What I did was I put together a little sheet here showing you some of the ways that money can be used and raised for purchases of the items we're looking at. In talking with Austin, some of this may end up being grant money. It may be coming from the school if the school gets their grant process. But for now, we're going to be taking it just for what it is.
All right. What school grants might there be?
Well, if the school can get a green grant, a greenways
Oh,
grant.
okay.
Because the town has it, but the region hasn't accepted it yet.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna-
I know the town was eligible for some,
Right,
or at least we're hoping they are.
right. And,
But
So
more
what-
may be acquired through Wachusett.
right,
Okay.
right. So our recommendation is going to be here, just on what we know today. There's 2025. Hey, Dan. I got 2026,
We started just a minute early.
7. I'll give him a chance to get going.
He's in there trying to do the budget meeting,
So
finance meeting.
one of the things we can look at is, with the stuff that we have, do we want to look at maybe moving some of this stuff to another year? Because we're looking at approximately $13 million this year. And if you look at the first rating sheet, 2025 is right below the heading, is the total dollar value. But that's only if we include the design and construction of the fire station, public safety building.
Yeah, we talked last week about putting that off for 1 year and voting the entire amount. Both the design and construction all in one, send it to the town, all as one package.
Yeah, looking at spending $1 million on the design of one building, when you have all the buildings in town are within 100 yards of each other. You got the town, you got the annex building, you've got the pool facility, you've got the public safety building. All those things should be looked at, to me, in an overall plan. If you're gonna do $9 million on one building, and you don't know how that's gonna go, we should encompass everything. So, again, you're right, I did my own personal score, and at 17, it doesn't even make a wave. It's not even on the Richter scale.
I'm sorry, can you just clarify, the 13 million up here does include the 10 million from the fire station?
Yes, if you look right below the first rating, you'll see I have 3 of them broken down there for the costs. Fire is $11,850,000.
Okay.
If we take out the 10 million,
It's only
it's
what?
$1,850,000.
That's the fire truck.
Yeah.
WRSD Wachusett is $1,347,950. DPW is $165,000.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? So, when you look at, if we take these facilities just off the top of our head, okay? Yours is right there. Dave. Then we look at the bottom here. Well, we know ladder replacement is a 46. That's a given. And then usually we go down from there, like number 32. That is another pretty much given that we would recommend in the past. After that, we go to the 28s. In many times, we don't look at the 18s, the 17s, the 16s, the 15s. They just don't rate important enough for us to spend money on this year. But given where there is money, which we're going to go through that, we'll take a look at that again. But I'm trying to get what we absolutely think we want to recommend to the town this year. Okay? So thoughts on that?
I'm still up in the air on our position on the ladder truck.
Really?
I think it's absolutely necessary, but we're gonna try and recommend it this year anyways, or we're gonna wait another year and see if Seth gets a grant?
Well, it's going to take, according to him, it'll take 2 to 3 years to build this thing.
Yes.
And
During
he's-
that time, he's going to be applying for grants.
Yeah.
The other thing is, he pointed out, you wait another year, you're locked in once you approve it. And
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
see
that's
prices
right.
on those
We're locked
sort
in.
of
Yeah.
things going down, nor do I see the lead time dropping. If anything, seeing things are going up and
Yeah.
lead times are extended.
Okay, I
So-
had forgotten about some of those points, that's right.
We-
Yeah, I mean, I consider, it's obviously a top priority, and I agree with it. I just wanted to clear that up, that we weren't gonna wait any longer for Seth to try and get a grant. If he gets one, it could be plugged in.
Right.
Right, okay.
If we recommend this and the town approves it, all they're doing is approving the money to be spent. No money is going to be set aside. The money will not be needed until the fire truck is to be received,
Worst case scenario, they float a 10-year bond.
when the time comes.
Yeah.
During this time, no money will be expended.
Right.
It'll just be that the town says, go ahead and order the thing. When the time comes, as you see here on this list, this is a list, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of ways to get money to pay for this. So I'm not too concerned about the debt ceiling right now. We've got some things coming off this year, next year, after that. We've got some levy limit. So right now, we have quite a bit of levy limit out there to be able to purchase something. And also our debt to what I want to call revenue issue is pretty low. Our revenue is about 38 million. And our debt, I think currently, not counting retirement debt, but our normal debt, I think, is around $6-7 million. So it's not that, and that's total debt. That's not our principal and interest payments. If you look at our principal and interest payments, we're probably looking at about $1 million. So $1 million against 38, it's a low percentage of debt to revenue issue. So I'm not too worried about that at this point.
Do you know what it comes out as percentage? I remember Becky was making a big issue of that we want to keep it under 5%.
That's like 2.8% or something like that.
Yeah, it's a mandate by the town that we have to keep it under 5%.
Right.
So if you look at the ladder truck, we can recommend it. We all know the reasons why, so Seth tried to give us a good idea for it. And there's possible grant money coming in.
And we don't,
46.
yeah.
So would we all agree that's a definite? Because we'll make a motion for these things at the end of the night.
Okay.
Of what we're going to recommend.
All right.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay?
Fire trucks indefinitely.
DPW facility. I spoke with Austin today. This is a little bit of a toss-up. He said that DPW, both of these are on life support. So.
These are the vans.
These are the vans. One for the cleaning crew and one for the
Water department.
DPW sewer.
Oh, is it sewer?
Sewer, yeah. So, we could, in reality, get these two done. However, my concern is they have so many equipment right now. This is kind of unique. They gotta get the van, and that cost, that $60,000 for the van, does not include what's gonna go inside of it. It's gotta be set up for all the tools, equipment, everything.
I
they
thought that's why it was
racks.
15 more than the other one.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was included as the way it was written in the
They'll
request.
get all the racks and everything, they'll just transfer actual tools over.
Correct, correct.
I was thinking that was the easier one because I believe there's probably money in the enterprise account for that. It
Well,
won't come out of tax levy
no,
anymore.
it won't. No, this is strictly enterprise fund.
The other van, on the other hand, comes out of tax levy.
The other thing
The other
is,
van's in worse
is
shape,
that,
though. We rated it higher.
Yeah.
what's that?
The other
Yeah.
van's in worse shape.
Yeah, the other
You
one.
can see daylight through
But
walls in
they're
it or
saying
so.
that the
we were
van, like,
told.
if you step in the back of the van, you gotta be careful that your foot doesn't go through the floor. I mean, it's got Band-Aids and tape and paint and everything else on it, so could it get by another year?
Next to a fire truck, that's the highest rating, so.
Right, for that custodial van. They're both about the same shape. But here's one of the key things. If you look on this sheet that I gave you and look down at what we call repurpose of unused articles, there is over $800,000 of money setting in article accounts for which the town has already proved money. If we can get the town to use some of that article money that is in DPW and sewer, then we don't even have to take it out of the sewer because it's already been spoken for,
Where are you talking about this? Oh, on that sheet.
this sheet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Do we know what DPW hasn't purchased yet that they've,
Yeah, we do.
because I know they have even more equipment going on the next year. Talking about equipment.
Over the next-
There's, yeah, you look at the next like 3 years, they just have more and more and more.
Yeah, and they have a truck on there with a plow,
Right,
okay? Which,
street sweeper.
Grader and.
I thought the street sweeper was like a 911 because of that.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Because of the erosion control situation.
right, and the,
I didn't see that on here.
Well, that's
it
a
is-
year out.
It
Oh,
is.
they need it
Yeah,
in-
that's, if
okay.
you look through here, I think it might be your 2029 or something like that.
Okay, all right.
It's 26.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the chart
2026.
here, it's 26.
So if we are, what did I see here? Here we go. We have an article, which I don't know if it's been ordered, for an F-550 small dump truck with plow. For,
I thought that's the one he said was ordered.
I think it's
Gotten it
ordered,
yet.
but it's not come off the sheet. That was done in '23.
Well,
So
is that
it's
like the
probably
fire
ordered.
truck where it doesn't come off the sheet until, because the money's not spent until he
No.
receives it?
None of this will come off until it's spent.
Was that one of the used ones they were getting like from Vermont? No, that's a small one.
It's 112,
Those are the full-size dumps.
it's $112,000, so it's brand new.
Okay, it's not on our list, that's,
No, because of it. And then we have like, and I have to ask about these things, we have for example, a water capital fund that was funded in 18 that has almost $29,000 in it. Well, will be almost 6 years ago. So if that money's not gonna be spent, we can repurpose that for the water truck or another piece of water equipment towards that.
could they have been using that money to do some of the repairs in the building over there?
No, because it's strictly for capital. Couldn't use it for that. We've got a residual management system. This was done in '22. We've got a drought management system. I forget that, it's very small money. So when you look at the water fund, and that small dump truck is for water, as we go through, we want to make sure we don't start duplicating, because sometimes things get lost in the shuffle and people forget what they have. So if we can repurpose some of this for this, then we don't have to worry about it. So the question is, do we want to have the town look at that and just say we would like to repurpose a water article or a sewer article to pay for this that it hasn't been used yet?
Okay.
Versus, and that's one of our recommendations.
I'm looking at the funds we were told we had,
Yeah,
648 and change in water and sewer. That other capital money might add on to that, or is that still there, as far as we know?
that's probably still there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably, because, yeah, the latest one I had was 648,552.
Yep, that's it.
So you got that one. So if we
This is the
spend,
minutes that he put together with
right.
the available
So
funds.
if we request that they use that, we'll pick an article or ask them to do the articles. In lieu of not doing that, we could go, because we're looking at, how much are we looking at for DPW right now? Forget the 10 million, 60, 120, 165,000. We could probably do 165,000 out of water and sewer. But instead of taking all the cash, should we ask them to float a short-term bond? 5 years.
A
The length
short-term
of the
bond.
equipment for what it will last, roughly.
I don't, if they've got the money there, you're paying more for it by floating the bond. I mean, it makes the payments easier in a year, but unless they have some, I mean, I know there's some big projects they're looking into, an alternate water supply, another well somewhere, or whatever. And
But
we don't have a handle on that, and if that's gonna be big money, then a lot of that 648.
it's gonna be gone. Let's turn to 2026, and look at what the DPW is requesting there.
For the water department, a replacement F-250 for
Right.
field use.
Right, and this is gonna start the first of 5-year planned sewer manhole and pipeline infrastructure, I&I. It's gonna be 160,000, if not more, next year. So that's a direct carve out of the fund.
Okay.
That's not gonna be. And then if we have the salt and storage shed for 150, which really has to be fixed. The roof leaks, they've been putting bubble gum on it and everything else, and that's where they keep their salt and stuff. So that, to me, would rate a kind of priority to be fixed. So right there, we're talking about $300,000 coming out of water and sewer.
So that would eat up half of that money right there, assuming they're not, I mean, they're adding, yearly, they're adding to that, though.
They are,
Yeah.
yes. But we don't want to drain it down, so, again, should we even be asking for a 5-year note on this thing? I mean, we don't want to try, now, anything in sewer is outside of the general fund, is outside the money. It doesn't affect our tax rate, doesn't affect our levy limit, affects nothing. It's strictly on the fees of the water and sewer participants.
That van replacement for 60 isn't gonna kill that,
No,
you know?
no.
But that's not the bad van. The bad van is the custodial one, and that has to come out of some other money.
Yeah, that's not coming out of DPW's water and sewer. So, we already agreed on the latter. Let's talk about the van replacement for DPW. We'll get up to the school stuff in a minute. What's the thought? It does rate a 17. If we had rated it for more issues, it probably would have been rated close to 32 again.
Well, and I feel like the whole time in talking to everybody, these vans have been misconstrued, which one is which. Chris was talking about both vans apparently at the same time, but it seemed like, I feel like both vans are in pretty rough shape, and we've been under the opinion that, the other ones, I think there's been a lot of confusion, because when I've been doing
Right.
the minutes, I've been trying to go, wait, which van are we talking about?
I agree with you. on
So
that.
I kind of think that, that DPW $60,000 van would probably rate higher if we had been more clear as to exact problems
That's
that
very possible, you're
each
right.
of them have.
And, because I can remember us discussing the fact that that one gets a lot of abuse in the field. We were talking about how long is it gonna last and everything. The custodial van, I'm not sure what the ages are on these.
Well, it doesn't give the age
The
on the,
custodial van said what? That was the one that it
That's
said was in
2004
2004 with 120.
That's 20 years old
8,000
almost.
on it.
Yeah.
But
right,
he didn't say anything about the sewer.
no. I'm assuming they were probably bought around the same time on the sewer truck.
Why is that one in such bad
Because
shape? And
I'll
the
tell you
sewer
what,
is?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, in my 15 years of ever authorizing a sewer van truck.
No.
So, could have, but my mind escapes me on that. So thoughts on that?
We rated it low. From that point of view, you could put it off for another year. The custodial van, we know has holes in it and whatnot.
But you said Austin says that van has holes in it. The sewer van has holes in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. What they're asking for is simply cars. No heavy equipment, no plow, no nothing, other than replacing the heaters and garage doors. So, this year is pretty easy. Now, we could lease those things too, but I wouldn't want to do that. We lease the police cars,
Right.
but I don't want to lease that car.
No, I don't think so either. The police cars, I think they trade them in.
Every 5 years.
Yeah.
Or more or less.
Yeah. These things, I'm not sure. I'd be tempted to just buy them.
Yeah.
A lease program on that, I don't know.
I mean, we're discussing this, but this has to go in front of the town, so they have to be.
I'm
They have to be
inclined-
able to understand and accept that they're spending cash.
I'm inclined to say, this is where I wish he had included pictures. So, I mean, if you throw pictures or both of these vans have holes, you look up, you put your foot through the floor of the thing, well, that's a safety issue. Now some guy's gonna be out
not
fixing
gonna-
one of these water
shouldn't-
main leaks and, go.
It shouldn't pass inspection if it's got
Well,
holes in the floor
so
and stuff.
I'm inclined to say yes to both of them. I think this van number 2 for 60,000 probably should have been
Been
rated
rated higher.
higher.
If it's
And
got holes in it, we didn't
If it's coming out of
realize, yeah.
DPW sewer fund, or if it's coming out of the sewer funds, we've got
60
cash.
out of the sewer fund, not 100, might be absorbed this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm inclined to
See,
say yes to both
right,
of them.
because I'm concerned about next year when we're gonna start with 168,000 for sewer infrastructure.
We're also
Yeah, I
looking
know.
at 60, well, no, that's not coming out of the sewer fund. I'm thinking 60 for the DPW upgrades, but a lot of that has to come out of tax levy.
That'll come out, well, again,
They'll
Put it-
split the difference
well,
probably.
not really. Let's look at, you guys can jot these down. I'm gonna give you some other numbers here.
Okay.
When we did Prop 2.5 this year, we went out and borrowed $2 million, we got $2 million. That's coming in from Prop 2.5 override.
Right.
That's what it increased the town.
That's 2 million?
Yeah. We have an RDIC fund, which can be used for capital assets of about 1.2 million.
Right.
We have a stabilization fund, which we try not to touch for emergencies, of I'm just gonna round the numbers off, 757,000.
Sorry,
Okay,
what was
we
that?
have it listed as free cash here.
No, free cash, that's not free cash. That stabilization is capital
Oh,
stabilization.
he's got them here.
Where did I see? Stabilization fund is not free cash.
Okay, but you said the same amount that we have for free cash.
Well,
Or
that's-
unless this was put down,
We might have discussed.
this was in our minutes here,
Right, but that might have been free cash that was certified.
yeah.
But the stabilization fund does have 757,859 in it.
Well, then the question is, this might be the stabilization fund rather than
Right.
free cash.
And I'm trying to
And
stay
we have
away-
to figure out what we got for free cash then.
Well, I want to stay away from free cash, because that's kind of the government, that's the municipality's money to use if things go bad or if we start getting in debt. I try not to put that on capital.
That's,
Then we have enterprise funds, you already have that, and then we have ARPA funds, which is about 400,000. And ARPA funds, are you familiar with ARPA, guys?
I am not.
ARPA is the American Rescue Act, that they gave free money to the states and to the towns and to the feds to use to help the infrastructure of the town and help the debt during COVID,
Right.
if anything went bad. That money can be spent any way they want it spent.
And how much do you say? We had
About
listed
400,000,
440 we had listed.
right.
Right.
And that's 400 after, because we actually got about a little over 2 million in grant money. But that's what's left over after everything has been promised. So that's actually the money we can use.
They did the big heaters in this building and everything with that and everything, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that, made some extra payroll, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this is basically the money we have to work with without putting a crunch on the budget. That's what I'm trying not to do.
So these that you just listed, those are the ones we want to pull from, is what you're saying? Okay,
Right.
I just want to understand.
I would use regular stabilization fund last.
Right.
I would try to go to ARPA first, or RDIC fund, or enterprise funds. So if we look at, let's take an example. Let's say we look at the DPW sewer van. Well, that can come out of enterprise. If we look at the custodial cleaning fan, that could come out of ARPA. That money's already there. It won't affect the tax rate, won't affect the revenue stream or anything.
Yeah.
Does ARPA have a time limit on it?
Yeah, it has to be spent by December 31st, 2024.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
We got a few years, yeah. As far as replacement of the garage doors, that could come out of the ARPA funds too, if we wanted. However, spreading it around a little bit, I would like to see if there's some way we can repurpose some unused articles to pay for the 60.
And I think it's realistic to think that a portion of that would come out of enterprise, because
No.
water and sewer.
No, this is the building, DPW building, the garage and doors, that's not sewer and water.
But they maintain the water and sewer equipment in there.
I know, but that would be a hard sell. Put it there.
No, I mean, some of it would be split.
We could recommend that they look at maybe 10 grand or whatever the percentage is.
I only say that because I've mentioned this before, in Worcester, we got a bill for everything from Central Garage, they did.
Yeah,
We were responsible, water and sewer together were responsible for like 30% of that building and all the repairs they did to it and everything. Because all of our equipment was serviced there, we gassed up there, everything.
and that might be the case here, Mike, and that might be out of ongoing income that they have coming in.
Right.
Paying those bills, not necessarily out of that.
It's possible they do pay bills already.
Yeah,
I don't know that. And if they do, then that would close this door. It's just
right,
funded out of the other account,
Right.
Out of
So-
free money somewhere.
right. So if we do 60 out of this, that brings that down to about 580.
60
Still plenty of
Out
money.
of which one?
Right, 60, 40, about 890.
You thinking out of opera or,
Out of enterprise funds.
Oh,
We do
enterprise
sewer
funds.
Enterprise.
all right.
how much is in those accounts? I'm sorry?
Enterprise, the both of them, water and sewer, 648
Yep.
and change.
So we'd be trying to do the DPW repairs
Yeah,
from, no, that's water sewer. The DPW repairs have to come out of something else,
see,
because it would be tax levy.
yeah, see, when I look at the security systems for WS, or WRDS, I'd like to take those out of ARPA, because that's a perfect need. If we can't get some type of school grant for the schools to pay for the security. Okay? So, ARPA would be that and the security systems, which comes to about $180,000, $190,000.
Security. Okay, 100.
Just those three alone.
Yeah. And you're thinking the three of those, we might try and do ARPA.
Yeah, I'd like to get those done. I'd like to get those done, because in today's world,
I was just gonna say, I agree wholeheartedly.
I think there should be that kind of security done.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that sounds like, again, a good fit for what those funds are intended to do, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Right. There aren't a lot of articles related to the school. So there's nothing on, I mean, there's repurpose of unused articles. There's nothing we can really do for the school on those. So if we're looking at 700, almost $1 million for that, over $1 million, like 1.1 million, somewhere in there, we'd almost have to, and this is for the parking lots, to get those done.
We would go minus
980.
1.
Yeah, we'd almost have to have a bond floated to do those. So far, the bond,
Would we really? I mean, you got 1.2 from RDIC.
we could take it from there.
All right, ARPA funds, we're taking out 182,950 for the security systems. We're gonna recommend they do it. And we were gonna recommend also
The 45 for the
plus
custodial.
45, 1, 2, 3 equals. So we'd be taking 227,90. 950. Okay,
Right.
minus
So we'd be
45
talking down just, in half.
equal, yeah, it would be, you know,
170 roughly, the left.
Yeah. And there are probably about 2 or 3 items that would eat up the rest. Because everybody
that would
has
leave
their
us
hands in the pie for ARPA,
212 left.
because it doesn't have to go through town meeting.
Oh, everybody wants it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had other things we had said we thought should be done with the ARPA
Right.
originally.
Well, one of the things was the community center,
Right.
senior center. But now that's on hold because of the thought process we discussed is, do we spend $250,000 on that building or look at having it redone? Because
Send that to the building committee,
it's not
which doesn't
gonna,
exist. I mean, that's,
yeah.
you may have to throw money at it at some point, though.
Well,
That'll
we
be the
will.
back
One of those
my
things
head,
that's
you
gonna
know?
limp along.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there are some things that have to be done, and, you know, the bathrooms and stuff have to be made compliant,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And, but that would,
But
But
that's,
those 2 items, we were at the,
but they're not asking for that to.
we
well,
wanted them just to go to the
That's gonna go straight to the town budget.
town budget.
That'll come out of that.
Yeah,
The bigger stuff isn't until next year.
okay.
So we can look at that. By that time, we might have a good handle on what's happening with the senior center. When we start looking at all the buildings in town, particularly the $1 million we're gonna spend on the fire station design.
Okay.
So we'll have a better understanding on that. And here's my bailiwick, if you will. We're gonna spend a lot of money on having the sidewalks and parking lots done.
Yeah,
And can they get by another year? Probably. But they've also been on our list for a few years to get those done.
yeah. Joe Buckley was pressing us on those for a couple of years.
Right,
Right.
right. So if we're doing the security system, trying to pay cash, now we're getting to a carpet replacement of 125. So I don't know how much money we can spend on the schools this year, because the big ones are gonna come next year.
Yeah,
Roof replacement, movable wall replacement, carpet replacement at Glenwood, maybe that's when we should be considering the carpet replacement at Naquag. If we can get a better deal, the town can get a better buy on 2 schools instead of just 1.
Right.
So should we move that carpet to 2026?
We could recommend that. I mean, we've moved up other money to this year. You know, do the DPW stuff all at once. Do the, what else did we vote to?
I think that was the only thing that we really combined. And then we sent the other 2 small items to town.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna make a move to 2026.
carpet, yeah.
Does that make sense, everybody?
Now, what'd you say, well, going back to the parking lot, you said, what was the thought on the parking lots for all 3?
We'd have to take out a bond. Unless they want, see, again, I am very hesitant of taking cash when I have an understanding that come next year, 2025, we're gonna be in the hole. We may be in the hole. So I'm trying not to touch stabilization. We can touch RDIC. There is money there for which, if we sell the land again and have business come in, it's not gonna be used for anything. So that is essentially town money.
There's more land that could be sold over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could do the parking lots out of the RDC fund, but that would pretty much draw all the money down on that. And I don't think RDIC would be happy. I'm not sure about the town on that.
Yeah, that would, be,
So-
you know, we're up over $1 million.
And well, you
Sidewalks
said
and
the,
parking
from the
lots.
Prop 2.5, we're up 2 million, but is that how much we have available, or is some of that
Yeah,
already
what's that
spoken?
mean?
No,
What's
we're probably,
earmarked for that?
that was the original. I mean, right now, we're using a little bit of it. We're hiring somebody, but for the most part, we're living off our current assets, our current income for that.
Funny.
But the reason I say we should take a loan for the sidewalks and the parking lot construction is because that shouldn't be a one-time deal. The school is gonna be used by people going forward. The parking lots for the parents are gonna be used going forward. So they should have a buy-in as the future too, not just this year. So everybody, so if we take out a 10-year on it, everybody has a piece of it. If you're moving into town, you got a piece of it. So, because you're gonna be using something then that we paid for this year that you didn't pay for then, if your kids
Yeah,
go
that
to
makes
school.
sense.
So that's a thought process I have on taking out a bond for those 3 items.
So for those parking lots and sidewalks, we would recommend a 10-year note.
We could recommend a 10-year note. That only affects about 100 and some, say 120, 130,000 a year on the balance sheet, on the books, instead of $1 million coming off the books. And loans today that they can get are around 5, but I saw that they might be going down. So if we can get a loan at 4, 3.5 at the future.
God, I wish I could loan it.
I mean, it could be broken up a little bit. They, all in one year makes sense, but, you know, we could fund one school, try and find out which one's the worst and fund that the first year, you know. And actually pay for it out of available money.
Yeah. I mean, if you did that, I'd probably look at either Glenwood or Naquag. Those are the 2 that are the smallest.
They're older. Even though they say that the sidewalks and paving is supposedly newer at Glenwood, but the report is that they're in crummy shape. I haven't seen the crummy.
There's a few pieces here and there that are bad, but nothing like if I was in charge of that school, I would have those pieces cut out separately and then replaced. I wouldn't, going through and redoing the whole sidewalk, I don't think is necessary.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this number includes. I don't know
Right.
if that's soup to nuts or if
Right.
that's,
This was proposed by Wachusett Regional, not by the schools or by the town.
okay.
because they have control over the schools.
Right. And then they're up to 35,000 or whatever. Is
Right.
there any play in that? with
35
this?
below is theirs.
Okay.
So if they wait until the cost is 50, it's ours.
Well, 3501, basically. is what you're thinking.
3501, yeah.
Okay, that's frustrating.
So, again, that's something we can talk about, but if you're gonna do 700,000 and you're gonna take a bond, you might as well just include the other 280 as well. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there, have you heard of anything that, a big expense that might come out of the woodwork that might chew up a big chunk of this money somewhere?
nothing right now.
What, which money?
All the different stuff we're looking at.
The surprise we had was what Austin said at the last time, is that a heater unit, water heater went.
Oh, yeah.
It was gonna be like 40 grand.
And that's gonna come out of stabilization or free cash?
That's gonna probably come out of free cash.
Okay.
That's the one we approved 2 meetings ago.
Yeah, we said, go ahead, you gotta do
Yeah,
it, go ahead and
it's
do
not
it. We
an
were
easy
just,
choice.
Now, the other school has one, I think it was replaced, the water heater was done 2 years ago, so that leaves us with the other school, but we're not gonna worry about that until next year, because they said that they have at least a couple of years before the thing should be replaced.
So could we call the paving, like, for example, on Central Tree Middle School, could we call the paving, 365,000? And then the sidewalk is 35,000 as a separate item?
On Central Tree?
Well, just on any of them.
Oh,
and try and make Wachusett big.
I don't know, I don't know, I haven't seen the breakdown, well, I saw the breakdown on one.
I mean, that,
This
I
one
don't
was
know.
for NAQUAG, and it's all, that price includes everything. Remove and replace concrete sidewalk, approximately 6,000 square feet. Remove and replace curb, approximately $7 a foot. Remove and replace stairs. I don't know where the stairs are.
Some of the ones around the back.
Those stairs
Grade,
are in.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pulverize and
stairs.
pave. Grade and prep structures. Granite curb 600 feet. Now, I guess granite curb is a standard. It's not
Well, a lot of the
concrete.
curbing that they're saying $7 a foot is asphalt curbing.
Is what?
That's probably asphalt curbing.
Yeah,
Granite curbing is more than that,
yeah, it's
Okay.
very expensive.
but they might be matching up, up along Main Street or something.
I don't know. I mean, this was 2022, March, when we got this quote from
It's-
Leahy Excavating.
What did they say,
2022.
granite, 700 feet granite?
I juiced that by 25%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's a fair number.
Fair margin, that's, obviously, they're not doing all the parking lots and everything in granite, if there's only 700 feet or whatever.
Curb, granite curb 600 feet, $83 a foot.
That sounds high.
As opposed to $7 a foot for asphalt curbing.
Right, right. So, again, they're probably, all the quotes are probably the same on this. It's just,
I was just wondering, I guess, backing up, I was just wondering if there's a mechanism where, when we have a project like this, that there is a portion that we can put back on what their responsibility is as well, to take on a portion of that cost. Now, whether that's considered a separate scope item for
in
that
terms
amount.
of,
Like, for an example, if the sidewalk is less than 35,000, I consider the sidewalk and because that's a concrete, that's a different scope of work than, say, the parking lot. Is there a mechanism to have Wachusett
Or
School
is
System
there-
pay for that sidewalk, and we, obviously, we're fitting the bill for the parking lot?
I don't know if it is, I mean, some of the sidewalks down there, and not all the sidewalks are concrete. Some of them along the road between the schools and stuff are asphalt.
right.
you know?
But the idea is, can Wachusett pay for some of the cost? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if we have something that's lumped together, obviously, I think in my personal opinion, there's a couple of different scopes there that they've just kind of dumped into one. And we say, well, no, they're not all one, they're separate, and this one's below 35, you guys need to pay that.
Right. I think that's something the town administrator can discuss with the
Okay. I'm just wondering if you guys have been doing this a long time. I'm just wondering if there's a
Well,
mechanism for
I haven't
that.
dealt with
That's, the discussion is that by
Wachusett.
contract, it doesn't differentiate. It says, if a project's gonna cost more than 35, it's your project.
And this-
Right, but and what I'm saying
And
is, it's not
Wachusett-
one project, it's two projects.
Right, but Wachusett goes out and gets the bid. Now, we can argue about the bid,
Yeah.
but since we lease the schools to them, that property, in essence, is they have the right to get the bids, not us. And then that cost flows to us.
Yeah, and
So,
they
we
put
could-
together those numbers too, right? They're looking at it as one
Yeah.
project.
Unfortunately.
All right, I'm just trying to be creative a little bit
No,
there.
I hear you, Brendan.
I think, I just want to be fair. I
If we could
think
save
it's a
another
one-sided
20
conversation, it
Yeah, if we
sounds
could
like.
save another 20, 30 grand on
Right,
something,
exactly.
absolutely.
Times three. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So for now, and again, this is our recommendation, once again, to the TA, the select board, and the town finance committee, that's up to them.
Yeah.
What they do. We're just trying to fit the pieces together like a puzzle, so.
And they may not like the way we fit them, they may want to take different money. But if
Yeah.
they go with our recommendations, I don't really care where they take it from.
We're a committee that takes a lot of the burden away from them.
Yeah.
They
Now,
can look at these numbers.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, Chris.
We're talking about not throwing bad money or good money over at bad. Didn't you say there's probably going to be a new school needed within a certain amount of time? Are we gonna repave a parking lot and then
Well,
tear the school down or move
I
the school
don't-
somewhere else and
Yeah.
now not use it?
that was, what's the word I want to use?
Wishful thinking.
That was wishful thinking by the school based on the number of pupils coming into Rutland. If Rutland would need a new school. Now, we have 3 schools already. We got
We need a high
2
school.
elementary schools and 1
Don't go
middle
there, I
school.
know.
What's that?
So we need our own high school, but we won't go there.
Yeah. So, I don't know why our student population increased, I think, by about 15 this year. So, that's not bad. But if you look over the last 5 years, I think going back 5 years, the population, school population in Wachusett was like 1,700. Today, it's about 1,750. So, people graduate, new people come into town. So when you look at the overall population, which is, I don't know, somewhere around 10,000, I guess, for the school, that it doesn't fluctuate a lot. And we had this discussion at the board meeting. If you have basically the same number of students you have, and inflation is running at an average of 4 to 5% on average for 5 years, why are we looking at a 40% increase for Wachusett during that same period? Because when those costs go up, our students go down and the average cost per student goes up then. So it would be fair to say, if our town's population kept increasing, as the costs go up, then our cost per the town would basically stay the same. But per student, it's more expensive. So when you look at that and say, what can we do to help that? The town administrator and the select board are looking at all kinds of options to make it a little fair. We know that when the rules were passed by the state of how the money is allocated for your share that you have to pay, it wasn't done appropriately. So Rutland, for years and years, was paying more than we should have. And now it's a little better, it's a little more even, but, you know, this is going back a ways, you guys may know this. When the lottery was created, the state said, we are gonna do something for our schools. We are gonna generate 100% of the lottery is gonna go back to the schools. You know where we are now?
Tell every state that, by the way.
About 60%.
Yeah.
It's coming back to us. So all the mandates, all the transportation costs, everything, all the special needs, all those mandates have been put on the schools with no extra money. In fact, they've been cutting the money back. And that's where you look at, and every town's facing this that has a regional school, because the costs are just eating away at everything in the town. So it's not a school problem, it's really a state problem.
That doesn't get back to the original question, though. A new school, or another school, probably isn't in the works in the lifetime of a paving project.
I just, if, you know, the parking lot can limp along for 5 years if it's not gonna be used, is what I'm getting at. I don't wanna throw
Right.
300,000 to redo a parking lot and.
2 years or something, yeah.
And then.
In 2 years, they're ripping
In
it
2
out.
years, they're going, oh, this building isn't gonna be used anymore.
You know, if Rutland keeps growing, another school might be needed at some point, or an expansion or something, I don't know.
Well,
But
here's-
I think that's,
You're right. Here's the other side of it. We have a managed growth in place. So you can only build so many houses in a year. And the managed growth doesn't include senior living. So senior living really doesn't have any kids going to school. So no, we're not so concerned about managed growth for that. And that helps increase the tax base, and that helps increase the overall running of the town. So we've limited to the number of homes that can be built, basically be built in a development to about 35 a year.
now, does that cover all permits, or, because I know there's a big issue on water and sewer.
No, anything built outside the town center has to be on sewer.
Even,
I mean, not town sewer, has to have the,
oh, yes,
Septic.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Septic.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
was like, wow, that's
Septic.
a,
yeah, no, has to have the.
There wouldn't be a single house going in a lot of places.
And depending on where you are, you may have to have your own well.
Yeah,
Can't be on town water. So,
but it includes those properties too, the managed growth?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was under the impression that a lot of the managed growth was aimed at protecting the water and sewer.
okay,
Because there's limited
there is a.
capacity in both of those.
Well, yeah, you're right, but they have a section called A&R,
Okay.
which is if you're buy a piece of land and you put a house right off the road and there's no other houses in development, that doesn't count towards the 35.
Okay, it's all
So-
confusing to me on that.
Yeah.
But,
So
Most of
getting back
that
to,
land, there's not a lot of A&R land left for
okay, we're kind of getting.
water sewer. But
Right.
either way, all right, so it seems like doing all the parking lots is not going to be throwing
Money away.
money at something that's gonna be obsolete in.
I don't think at least, the Wachusett is hiring CMRPC to do a study on population for the school.
Okay.
How what it looks like going forward, so I don't think any decision is gonna be made soon, at least not this year, until that study is done.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, going
And
back to your point,
I don't-
just do the whole
yeah,
thing then.
My personal opinion is that the school isn't gonna happen soon.
Okay, then.
Anytime
to
soon.
your point,
Eventually,
bond, 10-year bond for the
I
whole.
mean, Naquag may get too run down and have to be replaced eventually.
So
you know, but-
that brings us back to the carpet.
Right, which we're gonna move to 2026, because that's when the other school wants carpeting done.
Okay,
So let's
Yeah.
combine those two.
okay.
And also, this year, we're looking at about, take out the 10 million, we're looking at about 3.3 million. Next year, we're looking at 2.5.
Yeah, no, the only reason I was bringing the carpet up is because it actually rated, I mean, I guess 21's right about the midpoint. It's just
Right.
the parking lot's rated lower, but
It'd be nice if we could find a way to fund everything here. I
yeah.
mean, you know,
No,
and
I
that's
agree. No,
Not necessarily impossible.
And
There is a lot of money, but
right, the carpet's not huge, but if we're going, If we
These
mo-
numbers don't match up with what I have.
What's
from
up?
our ratings from last week.
what numbers?
Like on this sheet, this doesn't match up with what I recorded.
Oh,
Some of them are the same, but some of them are off. So like, I had that we rated the carpet at 14.
40 what? 6?
14.
I had 16,
Carpet?
but that, did I type the wrong thing?
it says 7 here, right?
I took the numbers off the sheet that I had that I was copying.
Oh, yeah,
down.
it says 16 points right here in your minutes.
What did I add to it then? Or did it add wrong? No, 3 7s were 21, the rest were zeros. What did you have, Dan?
I had 14. I had 7, 2, and 5. So. it was-
Oh, you had, it's
I got it. I
Okay.
have that sheet here somewhere.
7-2.
No, we upped, because what we talked about 5, and then I thought we decided to up. I had 7, 2, I had 5, and I crossed it out and I wrote 7. So I think there was some
All right, so maybe
discussion
it's 16.
on, that might have been one of
Your
those,
notes
it's
also
in
call
between.
16.
I
Yeah.
think it was either like a 5 or a 10, and we just said, let's.
So change that to 16?
That's what I have in the notes.
Okay.
That we looked at.
Let's change that carpeting to 16, so that would definitely qualify for next year.
And then I
Okay.
had the parking lots all at 21, where this one has it at 18.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I
You got
had,
21s?
I got 21.
Okay, so I'm missing 3 points somewhere. Where am I
Yeah,
missing
we,
3 points?
we put 3 points.
Good pick,
in
good
the
pick,
last,
Dan.
in the last one.
We put what, 3?
Yeah, the
On
last
the,
category.
Oh, because it's been listed before? We put
Yeah,
3 down?
right.
Okay.
I'm showing a
Parking lot, those are both
35
3s
there,
then.
17, 27.
Okay, so I would change that to 21.
School security.
I'll correct that when I get back home. Okay, great.
Everything else matches up from the notes.
No, because
Last
the
week.
school security, I thought we had the school security at 25.
I have it at 25.
25.
Do you have,
yeah,
And I have.
well, that would have
I have that
changed,
at
haven't- you know
25
what? The see of the 3 3s?
I also have the custodial cleaning van at 35,
I
not
do
32.
too, yeah.
Do you see the 3 3s that I have at the bottom there under those securities? I wonder if I didn't transpose those from sidewalk. So
Very
those would-
possible.
Those would be 0. Okay, 25.
Ladder truck, 46, yeah.
Okay. And you had, what was it, cleaning van at 35?
Yeah, because I had a 3 in the final category.
Yep, okay. Because when this goes to the town, I'll make sure it's correct.
you had a 3 in the final
That's good.
category, so you had it at 35?
That's what I have it listed as. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a 35 right there too.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
the sheet, we
Yeah.
did.
Replacement of
Chris's minutes had
garage
it.
doors, 27 is right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, the only,
Yep.
like you said, I think you're missing the Lotus 3 from.
I
the
transposed
van,
those.
and then you
Yeah.
transpose, so the only
Okay.
one, it's the security was low, no, sorry, the sidewalk was low, security was high, and the custodial cleaning van was low.
okay.
Those are, we had them all at 21, that's what you said, Dan, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and I think.
Not 18.
Yeah, to
You're
Harry's
right,
point, I think
right.
he's missing, he transposed those 3. Because if you look, the security system is high by 3, and then,
Oh, they're just reversed.
yeah, so I think you just put the.
Okay, we'll fix
Oh,
that.
okay.
All right, we'll fix that.
So the securities are all 25.
Correct.
Yeah, the big one is the fire this year, but
Oh, yeah, that's our high score, no matter how we look at
no
it.
matter. how you
Alright,
look
so,
at it,
so
that's
to,
it.
to my point now, the parking lot ranks the same as the carpet. So now it makes more sense, yeah, do the bond on that, push the carpet out to next year when we're doing another carpet. And we've got-
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
now that makes more sense to me as far as the points.
Okay, and definitely recommend the 2 vans, just recommend them that they be paid for differently,
Yep.
okay? And the garage door, that's 60, that's gonna come out of,
We were
see
gonna
if we
try
can
to
get-
repurpose.
repurpose an article, and I can look through the articles to see where 60 might come from, and if they don't, there's an alternative, we'll just put down ARPA funds as an alternative, because I'm trying not to spend any cash, considering next year could be a tough year, trying to preserve as much as we can. And the fire station, that's a hold. Referred to building committee. And I don't think anybody will mind on that, because we're trying to do that anyways, so.
So
And
that
we're still
just-
recommending
that
the-
takes, and we don't know anything about this Glenwood playground yet because of the ADA application, correct?
Right.
So that just leaves what, the fire truck, which we said for sure is a,
Wait, you know, some of the I thought it was that little tiny playground in the front corner of the school. But I
You
think,
think, you thinking of Naquag?
yeah,
No, this is Glenwood.
oh,
This is more in the back.
so there's ADA compliance issues there. I thought there were ADA compliance issues behind Naquag because of the stairs and
That's been corrected. They got they got $100,000 to fix that playground.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, they got a
So
grant,
they've
they
got-
got a grant for that.
that's a done deal, okay.
Right. Now, I'd like
Isn't
to think.
Glenwood new enough that they would have the ADA capabilities there?
I-
Glenwood?
Yeah. That's a
There's-
pretty new, in all things
Oh,
considered.
yeah, I remember when it was built.
This is interesting.
Well, it's not that the playgrounds, it's the surface. So I think if you go back there right now, they have rocks or mulch or
It's
something
service
like that.
and access.
It's like
Can't
beach.
move up.
You get you get a
I got you.
wheelchair on there and it's
Right,
It's-
right.
so-
It's not like it's so bad that nobody can, but, yeah.
Right, okay.
I've seen some
I got
people
you.
say, oh, you gotta like throw rubber mats down, or if you do it right, you just resurface it with something
I
hard.
mean,
tracking, I'm
when it comes to
tracking.
ADA compliance, we know that's gonna rate high.
Always.
So the question is, do we want to refer that this year? Because, I mean, we can move it to next year, but that doesn't solve that issue.
Right.
So if we recommend it this year, where will we get the money from?
60,000, we'll just,
Why not ARPA?
again.
We can recommend ARPA
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah.
Let them decide it, but we
So-
can recommend it.
So just, so I'm tracking, so the ARPA that we're looking at right now, we're talking about the 3 security systems
Yep,
Yep,
for ARPA.
yep.
We're talking about the garage door combo for ARPA?
Yeah.
Or is that a repurposed article?
No,
It was.
Oh, that was
reused
repurposed
in
article.
ARPA.
because we have so much in the DPW that they're doing that we might be able to get, I think we can get 60 grand from there somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
if we can. It
Yeah, I
was-
mean, we're getting
ARPA
close.
as a.
We're getting
as
close
a-
on the max on the ARPA, but I think.
Well,
we're
we
still
got-
there.
Yeah, that's what, I'm just trying to do the
Well,
quick.
there's-
Yeah.
we've already recommended down to 212, and then if we take the carpet, which is how much?
No, we're not doing the carpet. We're moving the carpet. to
Moving
next
out of
year.
here, okay.
Right.
So you might have
The
60.
playground
Yeah, 60 and 60. If
and the
DPW
60 and 60. So 120, now we're down,
What about 300s?
we're down under 100,000 now.
Well, okay. We
Yeah, but-
don't, we don't have any other need for ARPA, so whoever
Right.
wants it is theirs.
And again, that's what we think.
And we're-
So if they want to get it from somewhere else.
Right, right.
That's out of our hands.
Yeah, but you're right, I think, and the reason we're looking at it, because number one, we got some money, but two, I can tell you over the many, many years, we had no money, we couldn't do this. We were looking at maybe 2 items for $100,000 here. That's it, and everything gets postponed.
The only thing we had was
We
free
had a few years
cash.
like that.
Right.
That's all we
So-
ever had, and it was always small.
So we'll
Because it's
recommend
getting eaten away, yeah.
ARPA for that. Okay.
Okay, so now we might do minus 60.
And then just last question, the custodial cleaning van, we also talked about having towards ARPA.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And another, yeah, that's the 45, we already said that.
Yep.
right.
And then there's the playground,
And the,
minus 60 for playground.
right, DPW, we know that can come out of sewer. And the playground.
So you're taking 120, so that leaves you,
It's a pretty good chunk.
out of the 212 that was left, so you're got a little less than 100,000
And don't
left.
forget, there's still the RDIC fund out there, RDIC's got 1.2 million. So if they want to take 60 from there,
Yeah.
Right,
right, that's what we can do.
you know, we've got all of this stuff in here. Now, we're not,
'Cause we don't wanna touch
I'm
free
assuming
cash.
a lot of this override money, we don't have it listed here. Yeah, we do, it's
Right,
2.1 million.
but again, we're
That-
staying
some of
away
that's-
from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of that is used to balance budgets and stuff.
And also,
payroll.
we've hired a lot new people, they have been on the books, we have hired a lot of new people for the town to make sure the town runs properly.
Yeah, and
So-
that's all.
We've upgraded our systems, we spent like, I don't know, 60,000 on an accounting system, we've spent a human resources system, I mean, we spent a lot of money, but we haven't touched RDIC stabilization or Prop 2.5 money. So,
Okay. And that's, the RDIC money, it might be easy money to spend. I mean, they may be willing to put that into the parking lots and the sidewalks, get them all done now.
I don't know, I'd rather see a bond.
I agree with the bond approach
Yeah.
on those three big items. And I agree with the 10-year, that's,
We need to
What
bond some
makes
stuff
sense?
anyway.
What's that?
We need to bond some stuff anyway.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we gotta keep it off.
I mean, there's gonna be a building committee supposedly,
Right.
and there's gonna be
But things are
big
falling
borrowing.
off starting soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
because we know come 2027, the requests, here's where we are today, this is 2027. That's gonna be huge. Now, part of 2027 that I'm very, very, very good about is the fact that DPW has the water treatment plant. They want to work on that in 2027, redo it. That's going to be $5 million. Well, guess what? Doesn't affect the town books. We float a bond through water and sewer.
Yeah.
So we knock out the $5 million. Now in 2027, we got about $1.7 million we got to allocate. So that's pretty good, looking at how things go down the future.
So I think the only thing we haven't figured out where we're pulling the money from is the ladder truck, right?
That's going to be a bond.
possible grant.
That's what?
It's a possible grant.
That's
And
grant.
bond is a backup.
We, in the
I agree.
future, like we take the ambulance for, I think the last time we bought the fire truck, I'm not sure, the ambulance, we got 80% grant. So we at town had to come up with 20%.
Yeah, and at one point for the ladder, Seth was talking potentially as high as 90 to 95%.
Right.
In which case then bond is moot.
Right.
You're talking
You find the money.
100,
You
150
find the
grand
money,
or something,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
no need
So
to
all
bond that.
when we put the article through, all they're gonna do is recommend what we use. So if we don't need the bond, the article will be pulled, repurposed, and we'll just come up with the difference between that
You
and
can find the
the
100 grand,
grant.
yeah.
So there's no skin in the game yet for that.
We're spending all the ARPA funds.
Yeah, by my calculation, you're gonna have about 50,000 left in ARPA.
Which will be enough to take care of 2 or 3 different items.
It's gotta go anyway.
Yeah, oh, it's gotta be
It's gotta
done.
be spent.
I mean, and I'm a big fan of putting it towards things like security systems for the schools.
Right.
Like custodial vans, because that was also one of the, purposes of ARPA is
Right.
clean facilities.
Right.
So I'm comfortable. I feel good about those decisions.
So we've pretty much allocated all the stuff except for 2 items. One, the carpet for the school, that's been moved to next year.
Yes, sir.
And one, the fire station design, that we're gonna refer to a building committee for that.
Defer to a building committee for
A non-existent
2025?
building.
So I guess just-
What?
Still for 2025?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we gonna say the playground surface replacement, because we didn't rate it any points, are we gonna say it's ADA compliance, therefore it's necessary, it's, part one was,
We can
is
rate,
this?
we can actually rate it if we want.
Well, no, I mean, it sounds like we're saying that it's legally required, so it's just,
It's ADA.
Yeah.
Right. At some
Mandatory
point, if we don't do it, they're gonna come down on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a mandatory
All right.
recommendation.
yeah, okay.
Right.
I just didn't wanna have all these ratings and
Yeah.
then not go, oh, and we just wanna do this, why? But ADA legally
Yeah.
required, push it through.
And if we, for example, if we're gonna build a school, we think, oh, we're gonna spend $15 million on a new school, but there's a school building assistance program available by the state. So we won't be, so if we do a school, it's gonna be a lot of hoops to jump through, so I'm not worried about that again, right now.
Okay.
Okay, that is good. Now, quick, for the rest of the items, take time and look through that when you get home or whatever, because I need to send this as the report as well, so they can see what some of the upcoming costs are gonna be, that we're gonna be rating. So the finance and select board needs to be aware of what's coming up in the future,
You mean beyond this?
beyond this year. We're supposed to put together a plan, and the plan says, what are you gonna do going forward? Well, we can't rate these items, because we don't have, it's not there yet, we're not, nothing. So all we can do is say, here's what has been requested, that we're going to be reviewing in the future years.
We're,
And the approximate cost of the items, so they know how that's gonna go too.
we're not chasing a lot of this money here. The stabilization fund, you know.
That's the beauty of it.
We're not chasing a lot of this. We could throw in all of these parking
Well, we know,
lots.
we know we got some big days ahead of us on spending, so.
Right.
Unless it's kind of like what most government does, they say you gotta use it or lose it, or you don't get it the following year, sort of like an ARPA fund, then yeah, let's spend it.
Spend the ARPA fund.
Let's find a spot to tuck something else in, it's maybe a few years down the road.
There was talk about trying to recoup some ARPA funds by the federal government.
That's done.
That's done?
We got the blessing to keep it.
Okay.
Yep,
That wasn't in a project,
right.
you know?
You know, for example,
Find a project real quick.
I'll tell you what's not on here, and I went through my
I would
notes,
say, put it in projects anyways.
was a upgraded communication system for our dispatch, which will come to the tune of about $260,000. And then we're looking to rehab some building, which might cost $300,000 for the building over there. Two things. The state's gonna pay for almost all the cost of doing that. If we move dispatch from the fire station to the annex, and then we figure out how to use the town hall or where to put people that are in the annex, then we don't have to rush through to get the fire public facilities redone, because now we have all that dispatch area. That opens up area for sleeping, for whatever, for the whatever. So, but the beauty is, the state's gonna pay for that. So all the money he has coming in,
How many towns we got to use
we
that?
got four.
4, okay.
4 towns now. If we get 5, the state will build us a very brand-new facility, because we were the first regional dispatch in the state, and we're kind of used as a model now. So they want to make sure it gets,
And it produces revenue.
and it produces a lot of revenue. Believe it or not, he applies for grants. We probably get an average of $800,000 a year in grants. Just from that. You talk about.
Well, that's why, like,
investment.
this fire station thing, I know I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but, I mean, shouldn't that all be part of that consideration? Like, as an entire build, like, if we're gonna redo a fire station, shouldn't we have, like, well, let's talk about maybe having dispatch part of this new building? I don't know, maybe that's part of the
It would
discussion.
probably be more like fire and
Police.
police.
Yeah,
To rebuild a whole new building would be more than 10 million.
that's what I was, so that's why.
Yeah,
But that's kind of that's why I had a question mark on it, because I don't
well, that's.
think you're gonna get it done.
That's why
I
it
don't
needs a
think-
$1 million study, because.
Right.
Just what do you have to do to bring that up to par?
See, we have
10
no,
million may
the
not be
reason we
enough.
do a building committee, we just got, on the select board, just came through, they want to make the wood house, you know where the wood house is? The Historic Society.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
faces to the right, that
Yeah,
old
yeah.
building. They want to make that on the National Registry. Well, if they do that, the town no longer has control of how far we can build out the fire station, because now we're encroaching on a National Historic Society.
Yeah.
So that
That's
limits
great.
us. So all these things are coming into play that, you know, down the road, we actually need a building committee to kind of pull and look at all this stuff.
It's the old the annex was the old library, right?
Yes.
Is that big enough for the dispatch center? or
Oh,
regionals?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably 2 to 3 times what they have
Okay.
now.
Because it's not a big building, but still.
I mean, if you go in there and dispatch, it's like a cubby of, they got this little key's here, this person's here, this one's here, this one's here. You can't sneeze without somebody feeling it. You know, that's how close they're packed in there.
Yeah.
So Mike does a great job of running that place, he really does. So that's,
Mike who? Oh,
Mike, I can't think of his last name, Mike Moriarty.
Moriarty. Oh, that's right. I know him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we go. So I think, you know, going next year, once we get through with this, we're gonna start on looking at next year's stuff and really analyzing this stuff of where it fits in and can we do it a little more than we did this year. Because I'll tell you, this has been a crazy year because we brought a new town administrator in. He created a new path for us. We've had new forms, so we'll get there, no doubt.
I like Rutland. I think he's doing his best to do a real good job.
Yeah. So we have any other questions about this? Because I want to start putting together the report for you guys to review it, so we can decide what we're going to do, if this is good of what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
Does everybody feel comfortable?
Yes.
I feel good with, this 2025.
And the fact of the matter is, the only thing we're not funding here are the parking lots. And if the select board wants to, there's plenty of money to do it.
Well, the parking lots and the ladder truck are the only two items right now we've got for bond, that are to be bonded.
Correct.
Right. But as far as cash, that doesn't require a fire truck, yeah.
I still think, and we want to go with bond, we're going to have room for bonding in the not-too-distant future, but
Okay.
maybe that 10 million is the bond,
Right.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
the parking lots
100%.
could be done out of, our DIC money or something.
And that fire station for 10 million, whatever it is, we know we're not gonna pay all 10 million of it. You got federal grants available under the Homeland Security Act, you've got state money available, so we're not gonna pay all the whole amount, but that's a different story. So, I'd like Mike or whoever to make a motion on how we're gonna be recommending these things. So a motion, for example, that ladder truck will be recommended through a bond.
Okay,
The sidewalk and parking at Central Tree and Glenwood and Naquag will be recommended by a bond, that type of thing, so we have it on the record of what we're doing.
okay. Let me think about this before I say something. The easy stuff.
Well, let me ask you this, I don't know if this is legal or not. Can we just say, we are gonna vote the slate of requests, not including carpet for Naquag and fire station. And so I don't know if we can do that or not. It would be easier to do and then just say it will be referenced on a sheet. So-
Yeah, well.
What do you think, Dan? You're the attorney here, so.
Let's make a motion, and let's just name each item.
Okay.
But not specify a recommended funding source, and then when we do the report, we can make recommendations in the report for funding
Okay.
source, right?
Okay.
Well, these will be
So-
recommended this year too.
Right.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion then that we put forward recommendations for ladder replacement, for sidewalk and parking lot construction at Central Tree, Glenwood, and Naquag,
okay,
for security system installation at Central Tree, Glenwood, and Naquag, for playground resurfacing for ADA compliance at Glenwood, for van replacement for DPW sewer, for custodial cleaning van replacement for DPW, and for replacement of garage doors for 3 years combined with DPW, and that we push out to next year the Naquag carpet replacement, and we push to building committee the fire station design and construction.
okay.
I will second said motion.
Okay. Any comments, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'd like roll call vote.
Aye.
Just your name.
Oh, Dan, aye. Gracie, aye.
Okay, great.
Chris, aye.
Britton, aye.
Mike, aye.
And Second, aye. Okay. Done. Very good. Now we'll work on the stuff going forward.
Did you do the minutes before I got here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't see anything in the
No.
moment, so
No,
they look good.
I like them a lot. They were great.
Okay, do we have anything else here we want to discuss regarding this stuff today?
Well, when the report goes in, we're gonna mention where we're recommending the money comes from.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a report that will be part of, our report is going to be part of Section 5 or Section 9
Right.
of the Finance Committee program And so it's gonna be attached to that. So we're not gonna do our normal, well, here's what the CIPC is, here's what this is. We're just gonna do our recommendations and
Yes.
how we're gonna be funded. So I'm gonna work on that. I'd like to get that to him by the middle of January, so we can get the letter all done, and then at our next meeting, we can approve it to be sent to him. I'll give him advance notice on what we're doing,
That's
but,
probably gonna be my last meeting.
nah, I don't wanna hear that. Stop it. You've been saying
I-
that too long.
I said
I don't believe you anymore.
Okay, well,
Okay,
I
so.
wanted to see this big pile of stuff go through.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is a new way of doing it, isn't it?
It is a new way.
Guys?
It's a new way.
How do you find that? Better?
I think it's better overall.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Gives you a clearer picture?
yeah.
Okay,
Makes it feel like we're spending real money for a change when we were always small
We are.
change.
I know, yeah. All right, anything else? If not,
Next meeting.
take a
Yeah,
motion to
next-
adjourn.
When do we want to do the next, when do we want to
in
do Mike's
January?
ceremonial?
Yeah,
Well, I just want to
let's take a look.
carry this whole process through on this paperwork I've been dealing with, you know?
Well, I think,
And I
when
told
we're
Harry I would do
finally
that.
done, Mike, will probably be about the end of February. So just plan on sticking around.
You know, it's not as much work now as, because Chris has taken a big chunk of load here.
Okay,
So you're staying.
No, I'm leaving. I'm gonna see this,
Yeah, I understand.
this,
okay.
this big chunk of budget through.
It looks like if we do the third month, and third week in January is the 18th, I don't think we should wait that long. So more like maybe the 10th or the 11th.
Yeah,
The 11th.
10th, what's, I got, oh, okay.
I would say the 11th.
All right,
The 11th?
11th would be better.
Huh?
11th would be better for me, but I can do both, but 11 would be better.
yeah, I could do 10 or 11, but,
No, we normally do Thursdays. That's our
Let's stick with
traditional
it.
I
day.
like Thursdays.
So,
I got the plans on Tuesdays.
Okay, and 6:30, we'll meet here in the library. I'll get that set up.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to forget the new meetings, so I'm glad you guys remind me of that.
Heard you guys had a marathon meeting.
Huh?
Heard you guys had a marathon meeting the other.
Yeah, well,
Holy cow.
6 to 10.
which meeting was that? That wasn't
Our
ours.
last Monday meeting for the select board.
The select board, right. I mean, ours was longer last
That
time,
was-
but only an extra half an hour.
Yeah, no, they were
Yeah.
like freaking hours.
And,
That doesn't
and
include
Sat-
the all days, yeah, the all
It's all
day
day
Sunday or
Saturday
Saturday.
for the bylaws,
For the
yeah.
bylaws.
So it's like, yeah, it is what it is.
All right.
Okay, so we have our appointment next week was January 11th, 24, at 6:30 PM here in the library. Okay, any other discussion or comments? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good, thank you, everybody, it was a pleasure.